So we got done with financing. So you got a pre-approval from the bank. Now what? Now you're gonna get the property, right? Go talk to F&M. They're gonna hook you up, or the hard money lender next door. Anyways, so here's what I want to focus on today. I want to focus on three things. One of them being where I think your money is going to do really well in the next about 7 to 5 years, and that is Waynesboro. I also want to talk about new construction as a good tool of investing. And I also want to talk about short-term rental tax advantage, which probably a lot of you guys heard about already. But I want to talk about that a little bit more, also based on buying a short-term rental, cash flowing it as a short-term rental, and also using the tax advantage. So, Waynesboro. The Waynesboro aspect came to my mind when I was doing an open house in Waynesboro on a house that was around $520,000, and every person that walked through the door, I asked them where they're from. They're like, "Oh, Charlottesville." I'm like, "What are you doing in Waynesboro?" They're like, "Hey, Charlottesville is becoming very, very unaffordable, so we're moving out this way." So the stats I pulled up from 2010, they had a 15% increase in population. So they're growing population. This stat is what I want you guys to focus on when it comes down to Waynesboro. People that are working in the city versus out of the city, that has decreased from 35% in 2002 all the way down to 20%. So a lot more people are moving into Waynesboro and working elsewhere. These numbers also have been affected by working from home and stuff like that. But we're seeing a lot more Charlottesville people moving down that direction, especially with the new plant that they're building for Northern Grommet, which I think is already operational. I was talking to someone about it recently. So the difference in purchase price for Charlottesville residents and Waynesboro residents is huge, as you can tell. So average home in Waynesboro is around that $275-ish range. Average home in Charlottesville is through the roof. And all those people are going this way. So that's where you get the rental incomes. This is where you get the appreciation on the properties. Now, why I say Waynesboro is going to be good in about 7-10 years, I believe that they're about 7 to 10 years behind Harrisonburg. They need to clean up their downtown. They got to have a little bit better infrastructure. But if they manage to do that, I think they're going to do really, really well. Some more numbers about Harrisonburg. As you guys all know, we live here. Harrisonburg has been awesome. The rents has been very, very steady here because of the GMU influxes that we're seeing. There are rumors out there, correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard that GMU is trying to increase their people they're bringing in by a good bit in the next couple of years, based on the fact that they're building the link. So I don't think everyone is going to be able to be. The link is the project they're building downtown, where the funeral home is located, right beside the public building. So Harrisonburg is number 5 fastest growing out of 38 cities in the whole Virginia, taking in a lot of population and a lot of people coming from Northern Virginia. We're seeing a lot of that. So rental markets have been pretty strong in Harrisonburg and Waynesboro. They're moving around about the same pace. Waynesboro is a little bit faster, just because I think they're on that lower bracket. So also, if you compare it to national averages, Harrisonburg is a lot closer, maybe a little bit above. But Waynesboro has a lot more room to grow. So I think that in the next, again, 5 to 7, I would say 7 to 10 years, we'll see a big blow up in Waynesboro. So new construction.
Oleksii,
Yes.
can I ask a question before we move to the
Yes.
next one? What about supply in Waynesboro? Very interesting, but one of the things even in Harrisonburg is running up against supply. Is there supply in Waynesboro?
So
Or is it to build?
they're constantly building. There's definitely homes out there to buy in Waynesboro, more in my opinion than in Harrisonburg. there are restrictions down there. Waynesboro and Augusta County restrictions to build are a lot less. So we're seeing a good bit of construction down that way. D.R. Horton is building a lot of townhomes down that way. Evergreen, I think they're called, homes, building a lot of townhomes down that way. So there's definitely a good bit. And I think Ryan Homes just went in there as well. There's
Ivy Commons, correct?
what?
The Ivy Commons development for Ryan.
Yes, yeah, that one. I thought you said like no comments for Ryan Homes. I'm like, oh, hold on. I'm like, oh, like we're not gonna go there, Evan. That's your presentation. I don't respect you. Anyways, yeah, I don't want to get sued, so I'm not gonna say anymore. Yes, does that answer your question?
Yeah, it sounds like it's getting built up.
It is getting built up, yeah, and that's another reason why I think it's behind, is because the big builders that have been here already, like Ryan Homes, like D.R. Horton, like Evergreen, we're slowly starting to see them pop up in that area, which D.R. Horton got down there fairly recent, as well as Ryan Homes that just went into Waynesboro. So I think that's a really good opportunity. Why I say new construction is why. Okay, full disclosure, I just love new construction. It is what it is. I think that renting a new construction home is a lot easier. That's one. Second one, if you do decide if you can build your rental, I see all of your bunch of builders over here. So as you guys know, and others will know as well, that you can come into good bit of equity if you're partnering up with a builder to build a home, as well as you can choose the finishes. So for example, as a lot of people know, if you put a carpet in a townhouse, that carpet is gone in a year if it's a rental, if that, right? You can choose your finishes, and you can make sure you put the finishes that are going to last a long time. So new construction, good. You can also find a way to possibly partner up with a builder to build something spec, sell, as Jared is nodding at me right there. There you go. Short-term rentals. Been getting a lot of slack recently in our area, which we'll talk about. There's some restrictions in Rockham County. Somebody was asking that question. I don't remember who's. Oh, Evan was. Yep. So the cool part about short-term rentals nowadays, since last year with the one beautiful bill. No, I tried to. Trump impression didn't work. Yeah. Ben, can you cut that out, please? Okay, thank you. So, gotta be 7 days or shorter. So you gotta participate in it, you or your spouse. So for example, it doesn't have to be you. You have a full-time job, you have a spouse, they get a real estate license. You really don't have to get a real estate license, but that's easier to prove to IRS. And they manage the Airbnb. And how many of you guys here work on W-2 or 1099? That's probably everyone, okay? Out of everyone here who has an S-Corp, like 1, 2, 3, 4 people. So for everyone else, you can use the bonus depreciation. So in a year, you can wipe off your tax liability. Quick disclaimer, ain't a CPA tax advisor, check with them. Just something for you to look into. Again, don't want to get sued today. Maybe I'll have to call Chris about insurance sooner than I thought. But yeah, very, very good vehicle. There is, and especially in Massanutten, I wanted to bring these numbers in because people say, hey, Massanutten is oversaturated with short-term rentals. And that's true. That's true. But what I wanted to show you guys is the annual revenue has been pretty good on those, on average. They're renting out only for 36% of the year, which we're seeing because of the seasonality of Massanutten. Why it's good to get a short-term rental Massanutten is because you get skiing, mountain biking, and then you also get the JMU events. A lot of people I know that rent out in Massanutten for over 10 years already just because they're used to it. So Massanutten is great. Very important to have a good listing, or somebody that does it professionally, or a good listing, good photos. Call up Ben to get good photos and videos done. I don't know if you can do videos, but photos for sure. because the listings that do a lot really good are usually the very professional listings, and they get the highest daily rates on Airbnb. And then sales in Massanutten, which is really interesting. I always see, 1.2 million, $1 million houses in Massanutten going up and going, getting sold in 2 days, just because of the new depreciation and the fact that they're performing properties. So you can get an Airbnb. Let's say you get a property in Massanutten, you flip it, put a good listing on it. You can sell it for a lot more, not because you're selling it as a real estate. You're at that point selling it as a business, a turnkey for someone just get in, claim their tax depreciation. That wealthy doctor that works at RMH, they're gonna want it, because they don't want to put any work into it. So yeah, the short-term rentals sell on average 11 days shorter. Quickly about regulation on short-term rentals. Nothing to be worried about in Rockham County. Pretty much all they're doing is you got to get a permit, at least for now. Got to get a permit. If you're on the septic, you only can have 2 people per bedroom, or pretty much 2 people per bedroom that is perked. So for example, if your septic is for 2 bedrooms, you can have 4 people. So you can advertise it for more. I don't think they're going to really go around and knocking on doors. Cut that out too as well, Ben, please. But pretty much you can't advertise it. Then if you're on public water and sewer, you get 2 people per bedroom and then four more on top. So all the Massanutten properties are probably going to be fine. You also got to have someone within 2 hours of response time if, as they say, crap hits the fan. So pretty simple. I don't think a lot is going to change. You're going to have to pay $200 to get a permit, and they're going to start collecting some taxes because that's what government does. Cut that out too, please. So yeah, I think being in having new construction, having a short-term rental in our area is a good idea. Again, how long a short-term rental market is going to hold, I don't know. Another market for you guys to look into is Bryce Resort. It's definitely not as nice. The roads are crap. They just are. But the property is a lot cheaper and they're still renting out at a pretty good rates. So yeah, that's all I got for you. Thank you so much. Any questions? Don't ask them because we're going to do it at the end. Evan. Perfect. Thank you.